Hi, this is Jeff at Simple Forex System, and I want to do another video involving using AutoScaler, Renko, and Cynthia's Neon trading system that she just released a couple of weeks ago. I've had a lot of requests from people that already have AutoScaler that said, could you please do a video showing us how you use AutoScaler, combined with her system and your Renkos, and so that's what this is about. You are free to use whatever numbers you want to use. Okay, people want to know what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. You can do more, you can do less. It's really up to you. There's a lot of options, a lot of variables with AutoScaler. But what I do, I add 3 additional trades. I space them 3 pips apart. I use the manual trade function, meaning I want all of the AutoScaler trades that are added to use the same take profit and same stop loss that I have on the manually placed trade. I put a take profit in of 20 pips because that's really all I want. You can go for more, but I use a stop loss of 20. And recently what I've started doing is just putting the trailing stop in at plus 10. And the reason for that is once the price moves to the point that it triggers all 3 of the auto-scaled trades, the farthest one is about 9 pips away from my entry. Once we manage to get to that point, and pick up that extra 10th pip, this will move the stop loss from the fixed point of 20 pips on all trades to essentially everything is sitting at break even on my first trade, and that leaves my exposure on all 3 trades at that point to around 17 or 18 pips. And if price goes any farther, the trailing stop follows along with it, and my exposure grows even less. In fact, if you get the stop loss in between trades 3 and 4, I'm actually in profit. And by the time it gets past the 4th trade, all the trades are in profit, and I'm very happy at that point. So those are the settings that I use, and I'm not going to be taking any trades here today. What I want to really talk to you about is the box size. Now, I will say, if you look down in the description, there are some additional links to additional videos, one of which shows a trailing stop in action. Another one is just my overall review of the Neon system using the daily charts. And then I also have another review of the system using the Renko charts. So I'm not going to go over that material again. It's already been done once. I also have my preferred settings are in the description written down if you need to go back and review those. And I also have a couple of breakdowns of what happens if you get 20 pips and what happens if you get 30 pips using AutoScaler. I mean, this is one of those little tools that can really add to your profits if you know what you're doing. If you're already a good trader, or if you can follow the directions on Cynthia's system, you're going to be forced to be a good trader, and you're going to make some money with this. Now, what you're looking at right now is a 3 pip box for Renko. All right, a lot of people like to use the smaller box sizes when they're trading because you just simply get many more trades than you do using the larger box sizes, and I'll explain that as we go along. I put the 3 pip box up. Now I'm shooting this, by the way, on November 23rd. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Florida. So day after Thanksgiving, there's actually been quite a bit of activity today, more so than I really expected to see. I did not trade any of it because I'm taking a couple of days off, but I wanted to get this video shot. So a 3 pip box today wouldn't have been too bad, but you didn't really have a lot of 20 pip moves, okay? And what you do have, unfortunately, and you have that pretty much any time, is you do get a little bit more chop than you get with the larger box sizes. So as you can see, like right here, for instance, you basically would have had a sell trade that immediately turned into a buy trade. So you've got a losing trade already on the screen here. Now you have another, essentially a good sell trade setting up right here using the 3 pip box, but there's literally nothing to say that it's going to go any farther than it's gone right now, and it could turn around and reverse on you. And given that it's Friday afternoon, I don't trust any of it, so we're not taking any of these trades anyway. If you insist on using the smaller box sizes, 3 pips or even 5 pips for that matter, I strongly suggest you pay very close attention to what kind of trends you're looking at on the 5-minute chart, and even on the 15-minute chart for that matter, and only take the trades that are in that direction. So if you do happen to get a trade such as this, where if you go back here, I mean, actually, the trade really, there really isn't even a trend this morning or this afternoon, really. Everything is still inside of about a 40 or 50 pip range as of late. But don't buck the trend, especially with the smaller box sizes. I mean, eventually, trend is going to turn around and come back the other way. But if you try to do that on every single reversal you get on a 3-pip box, you're just going to end up losing a lot of money in the process. Okay. So I really don't recommend the 3-pip boxes on this. Now, there was a nice run here earlier today. This is the 10 o'clock hour. A decent run up. That was worth about 18. This one was worth about 30, really, I think. 40 pips, something like that. But for the most part, you get a lot of this stuff, okay? And remember, these are just 3-pip boxes, so you're not really going anywhere. If you're using AutoScaler, you're triggering a couple of trades and increasing your exposure, but you're not really getting a lot of activity. And probably it's just not worth it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video for just a second. I'm going to switch over to a 5-pip box because I want to show you how that works. So hang in there. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back with the 5-pip box. And this actually is a little bit better than the 3-pip box. I mean, the thing about Renko is the larger the box size, the more stable you're going to get in terms of the price action. You're going to eliminate the little price moves that throw off the different colored boxes that cause the indicators to start giving off false signals. The higher you go up the scale to from 2 or 3 to 5 to 10 to 15, 20, 25, the more stable it gets. Okay, but there's some downsides to going too high as well, and we'll cover that here in a minute. 5-pip is a little bit better. But, I think if you're trading London Open and you're trading the 10 o'clock hour in New York, sometimes the 8 o'clock hour, because sometimes you get some decent red letter news that gets things going for you during the New York session. But certainly the first 2 hours of London and the second full hour, maybe third full hour, 10 to 11 Eastern time of New York, then I think you're going to get some decent price action. But again, a lot of times if you're waiting for the signals to develop with Cynthia's neon system, you don't quite get a lot of 20s using the 5-pip box. Now there's a nice one right here, went 20, 25 pips, but see, you got a lot of 15s, and that's 15's great, but it's not 20. And there's some better box sizes to use, I think, that will help with that. But if you're going to trade, if you can trade London Open, then I think you can get away with 5-pip boxes. And the great thing about 5-pip boxes is you will get a few more signals during a session than you would get with a 10-pip box. And when that's what we're going to show next. And I think the 10-pip box, in my opinion, is the most stable, combined with the most trading opportunities during a 24-hour period. I think that's kind of like the sweet spot for this whole thing. And let me pause again, bring up a 10-pip box, and I'll show you why. Okay, here we are with the 10-pip box. Now you may recall that earlier we had quite a few signals back and forth using the smaller box sizes. What you're looking at right here in this box right here, this is about 6:45 this morning. And then, of course, current time is right now. You can see from the changing numbers, we're still actually live. It's about 7 minutes until 1 o'clock right now. But you can see price has stayed in about a 30-pip range, one little excursion below, but then price bounced right back up into that range, and it stayed there pretty much the entire morning. And that's not to be unexpected, given the fact it's the day after Thanksgiving, and traditionally there's just not a lot of activity on this date. But you can see, you come back here to let's see, this is what, today's the 23rd, is that right? Yeah. So this actually triggered last night on the 20th, and see if I can find that's this box right here is the 10:30. That means actually 8:30 in the morning London time. This box is 8:15 in the morning London time. And this box was 2:23 in the morning my time, so 7:23 in the morning London time. So you can see if you're trading a 10-pip boxes on London Open, if you want to jump in on a reentry like this, you can. I would have missed this trade because I don't like that. I like being in here at the top. I don't like getting in the middle. I have a almost a legendary ability to kill price moves when I jump into them when they're already well underway. But if I can get in the beginning, I manage to make pips. But a lot of times I jump in. My getting in signals the end of whatever move that happens to be. So I've just learned from hard experience not to do that. But what you can notice is with a 10 pip box, look, this is the one slope line just has stayed red this entire time, which means you're only looking at buy trades. You can immediately eliminate the sell trade. I'm sorry, you're only looking at sell trades. You can eliminate all the buy trades. All the little buy signals can be ignored. You can get back in on some reentries if you want to. Again, I prefer not to do that. I want to be in the beginning of a trade. So, and if you go back here, there is a little bit of chop here going on. And that's going to happen, okay? I mean, if you're trading outside of a normal time frame. Now, this was yesterday morning, Thanksgiving, for the United States, so and later in the morning too. So you only really had London open at this stage, and they were getting ready to close, and all the U.S. traders were busy stuffing themselves and watching, football on TV. So there just wasn't a whole lot of activity yesterday, and that was to be expected. It was a major holiday, so. It was a little bit choppy. Not really a big surprise. But if you come back into the London session for that same day, you can see how smooth this was. And this is just right before London Open. Again, this is I'm sorry, no, that's 5:30. This is London Open right in through here. Now, these huge moves were courtesy of some dumbass leaking the actual Brexit documents. Which I guess weren't supposed to be leaked, but they got out, and the market reacted accordingly. So there was, quite a bit of activity during those first few hours of London after that. But then things slowed down, But you can see how smooth it is, and even during when it's choppy. Remember, these are 10 pip boxes, so this would have been an entry right in here. You get 20 pips. If you'd have gotten in here, been selling, really, you were in a buy trend, so selling may not have been the brightest move, but it's these are this is a little choppy area again here, and it's a little bit before the open of New York, so you don't want to that 7 o'clock hour before New York opens a lot of times isn't all that great to trade. But for the most part, you can see that you've got a lot of really nice moves here that you can grab a hold of, and even some of the smaller moves are still 20 pips. So I like 10. Now I'm going to do is pause again because I want to show you what a 20 pip box looks like, and very quickly show you 25 and show you why that really isn't the best way to go, and why I think 10 is really kind of the sweet spot. So hold on just a second, I'll be right back. Okay, we're looking at 20 pip boxes, and you'll notice there is almost no chop to speak of through yesterday and today, except then you get right into this area, and this was just a very choppy time frame. But again, these are 20 pip boxes, so if you're only going for 20 pips, you had a pretty good shot at making it. Especially, you get a signal at the close of this box, that's 20 pips. You get a signal at the close of this box, that's 40 pips. You're not getting the green buy signals here, so there's really no reason to take any buy signals. You're just really taking sell signals. And right here, I think your worst case scenario is you went upside down quite a bit, and but at least got back down to your entry. And then everything went to hell in a handbag. You would have lost 40, but you could have picked it all back up going the other way again. But this is if you come back here and try to center this, now we'll get where I want it to go. Okay, this is our current open candle. This is very close to London Open yesterday. So this is yesterday's move, and then we're going into a little bit in today's moves right here. So there's basically 4 moves in 2 days. You had to time them perfectly to get here. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If you come back over here, the next one, this is the 16th all the way through the 21st. And these weren't great trading days. The smaller box sizes, the 10 were tradable. In fact, I managed to pick up some winning trades during this. But the daily range, which we normally are expecting around 150, 160 on the pound yen, we were only getting about 80. And so, consequently, with a 20 pip box, you're just not seeing very much. let me pause this one more time. I want to show you 25 and show you why that really isn't a very good way to go. And then we'll wrap this up. So hold on just a second. Okay, remember we were showing you 20 a minute ago. Now these are 25. Now there's a really nice move here. That's 125 pip move up. If you could have caught it, if you had been here at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time 3 days ago. This goes all the way back to the 19th through the 23rd. This is like the entire week of trading this week. And you can see you really only had, in terms of an original trade, you had one original trade right here. And you had a second one earlier today, I guess it was, technically, right around London Open. So, I mean, you could have picked up a couple of winners this way. But, again, London Open, that's not doing me any good. Being in Florida, I'm asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, no matter how much I want to be up trading. My body says otherwise. And if you stretch back over here, this goes all the way from the 15th to the 20th. So again, 5 or 6 days worth of trading. And you can see with such a large box, on days where you are days or weeks for that matter, where you're not really getting your average daily range, and we were in like about a 50 pip range, 75 pip range for several days through here. There just isn't enough activity with large box sizes to trade. So really, you want to stick with the 10 pip boxes. I like going for 20 pips. You can go for 30 if you want. I've got a breakdown, like I said in the description, that shows the difference between the two. Basically, if you go for 30 instead of 20, you pick up 40 more pips in the process, which is can be kind of nice on just on a 10 pip move, gives you 40 more in the bank. That's pretty sweet. So anyway, those are the settings. That's how I trade it. As far as the entries and exits, like I said, I've already covered that in the other videos. So if you're interested in maybe picking up Cynthia's neon system, I've got a couple of video reviews on that already. Like I said, this is Friday the 23rd. She does have a coupon code, and that is also in the description, and that is good through midnight Sunday night, and Sunday would be the 25th, I guess it is. So you've got a couple of days to make a decision there, but you can pick it up at a discount, save a few bucks in the process. So anyway, hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Be glad to answer them. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.